Rom-com anime / manga ruined my perception of love and women. Hello folks and them. I, 20M, really like anime and shit. But I found Sam's channel a few months ago and watched his videos on self-improvement, and it really helped me, especially the vlogs. I realized that instead of rotting in my room consuming anime content and jacking off to hentai, I could invest in myself and live a fulfilling life. So I started to wean myself off anime, but I just can't see real women as appealing to me. I don't even watch normal porn anymore. I only watch or read hentai. A few days ago, I tried to interact with women again, so when I was at a shopping mall, I smiled at this girl, and she made a disgusted face and went the other way. I really don't want to come off as an incel, but when I found out real life women are not at all like anime girls, I was so disappointed. I feel like one of the pillars of motivation when it comes to self-improvement is wanting to attract women. I reject that wish. So the advice hope y'all will give me is, should I try to expose myself more to women and get over my disdain for women? Should I keep on moving forward? Or is it impossible for a man to live a fulfilling life without women? My head is a mess right now. I'm sorry if this comes off as silly or stupid. That is a message that a young man dropped in my Discord server. And guys, if you're not in the Discord server, join. It's an amazing place, very productive place full of young men who are on their own journeys of self-improvement. And even if you are a little bit further ahead in your own self-improvement, you can always reach your hand back down into the trenches and help guys out who are struggling with other things, which you've already moved beyond. That's the premise of this movement. That's what I do with this YouTube channel, with these videos. And if you want to also get involved and help young men, the Discord's a good place to start, guys. I do want to say I'm really thankful for this guy for telling us that my videos have made a massive impact on him and that he's started to wean off anime. That's a fantastic thing, and I'm glad the vlogs served as inspiration for that as well. That's the purpose of the vlogs. It is to show you that life can be so much better outside of the trenches. It always makes me really happy reading comments like that. And this is a massive issue that I see a lot. Anime idealizes literally every aspect of life, not even just romance, but like just life in general. And I think that's why people get drawn into it so much. It is a form of escapism. If you're not happy with how your life is going in the real world, you might find yourself zoning into these fantasy worlds which appeal to your fantasies. You really wish that there was this one shy, quiet girl who's absolute drop dead gorgeous in your class, but for some reason she's a little bit nerdy, but she gets bullied a little bit and she gets no male attention, but she's an absolute 10. When you put it that way, it's like, it's so ridiculous, isn't it? Like, that's just not reality. And it's literally just fantasizing. It's not real. And it's the same shit for girls as well. Girls probably watch anime and think like, oh, I wish there was this one superhero man who lives with integrity and honor and is purposeful and strong, handsome, lean, and he stands up for the downtrodden, and he's really socially slick and he's super romantic and so on. And I think for the young man who put this message in my Discord, that's kind of lost on him. Like, what about the other side of the coin? When you look at the types of dudes in anime who do get the girl, are you really representative of that? Assuming that the show isn't totally psyoping young men into thinking that you're able to just sort of cruise through life and you will clumsily stumble into, you know, a 10 out of 10 girl, which is a problem with anime. Like, it is fucking idealized. I'm getting ahead of myself. What is it that women want is the question, okay? That's a question that is lost on a lot of young men. Because as men, we're very quick to focus on what we want, obviously. I want a bad anime goth bitch, big old titties, fat ass, submissive, feminine. She needs to be shy as well. She's a virgin, all this shit, right? But what do women want? Do you ever ask yourself that question? Like actually, like genuinely, like what would a woman like that actually look for in a man? I guarantee you that you might have never thought about that. Or if you have thought about it, it was like a very quick thought and then it sort of just, you know, dissipated in your head. And you continue to have the same expectations of your women without ever putting a magnifying glass upon yourself. And then we become like disgusted and nihilistic when we realize that we aren't really worthy of attracting that type of woman. I hate to say it, guys, but a lot of young men, like, we've been sold the wrong blueprint to life. We've been sold the feminine blueprint. Women are born with innate beauty and value, and it's their job to preserve it for the right man. As men, It's the total opposite. We aren't born with innate value to women, especially, and we have to relentlessly build it. But young men have been raised into thinking that, like, yeah, don't worry, bro. Like, if you just cruise through life, you go to high school, and you're a little bit clumsy and awkward, you'll bump into the 10 out of 10 girl, and you'll knock her bucks on the floor, and then you'll clumsily pick them all up, and you'll be like, hi, and she'll really fucking like you for that, bro. And like, you're set then. Your life's fucking perfect. You can have fucking 17 children, and everything's just gonna fall into place, bro. Trust me. Like, it's not true. It's a brutal, rude awakening for a lot of guys, including myself. I thought I could just fucking, exist and cruise, and everything would just work out, bro. Like, it doesn't work out that way, man. I mean, let's look at the situation in the message where this young man smiled at a girl in a mall, okay? We know he's 20 years old. We know he uses Reddit because he does this 20M shit. That's Reddit speak, okay, I know. And we also know that a large part of his identity is based around anime. Like, it's his profile picture, it's his username. So you can make a lot of assumptions about someone by just looking at those few things. But let's not assume, like, too extreme, okay? We know for a fact that he's been rotting in his room and watching anime and jacking off to hentai. Probably some heinous ass shit as well. Like, some real weird, fucking dark corners of the internet shit. And we also know that he has a very unhealthy worldview based around women. And from this comment lower down in the thread, we can actually get a glimpse into the fact that he is actually reliant on women. So let me ask you this. If you're watching this video, I hope you are, because this video is tailored for you, bro, but it's gonna apply to a lot of men. Like, are you the type of man which the type of woman you want to attract fantasizes about? Do they fantasize about a guy who scrolls Reddit, watches anime all day in his room, jacks off to weird hentai? And those are just the things I know about you, but knowing those things about you as well, I can probably make a bunch of other assumptions. You might not be going to the gym. You might not be looking after your health, your weight. You might not be looking after what food you eat. You might not be very purposeful because you're rotting in your room. You don't have a job. You're not a man on his mission, some sort of higher purpose and self. I can make a lot of assumptions, but just knowing what I know about you now, like, is that the type of man which women fantasize about? No, it's not. So what makes you think that you are worthy of the type of woman you fantasize about? You're not owed your 10 out of 10 dream girl. No one owes you that. You have to work for it. And again, it is a rude awakening because you have been sold the wrong blueprint. These animes play into your fantasies of, if I just cruise and chill and I'm a bit awkward, I'm a bit quirky, then I'll just, fall into a 10 out of 10 girl's life.
Would you please make me your girlfriend?
Girlfriend?
No. Sorry, doesn't work that way. That is your fantasy. And that fantasy you have is weaponized against you in media, specifically anime, but also westernized media too. You see this all the time in westernized media. Any sort of romance story, like, it plays into both the male and female fantasy. You see it in films geared towards women. It appeals to their fantasy, and to us, we look at it and we're like, oh, super cringe, man, so gay.
You all right? Christian Grey.
And I'm sure that women look at stuff that really appeals to our male gaze and they're like, yeah, that's fucking retarded. That doesn't make sense. And it's because it's just complete fantasy. And we can't really make sense of it unless it's like tailored to us. And quite frankly, even if you look at the guys in your anime, again, assuming it's not super psyoped shit and it's like trying to convince men that they can just be like a fucking feather in the wind and now just so happen to fall into a 10 out of 10 girl. Like, let's take non-psyoped anime. Something like Berserk, okay. Does Guts just like fucking fall into amazing relationships while being like a fucking bit of seaweed, a little pussy? Like, no. He's insanely purposeful. He puts his mission above all else.
It's just my nature. I'd rather fight with my sword than run away, that's all.
So that's the only reason? You fought 100 men because it's not in your nature to run away.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's fucking jacked. He's cool as fuck. He's capable, he's handsome.
Who goes there? You're a dead man. Do you know who we are?
So on. He's talented at what he does. He is a multifaceted man who does not rely on a woman. And for that, he attracts incredible women into his life. He doesn't just stumble into it. Unworthy. So quite frankly, of course the girl that you smiled at in the mall looked at you disgustingly. It sounds harsh, but you wank to hentai. You literally jack off to hentai porn. If you don't know, hentai is basically just anime porn. It's drawn porn. And on top of that, you also have a really unhealthy and nihilistic worldview on women. And women are so insanely sensitive to this energy, guys. Like, I don't think you understand. For women to survive historically on an evolutionary basis, they had to depend on a man. Their survival literally rested upon their ability to choose the right man. So they are insanely receptive to your energy. If you feel like that you're not worthy of a woman, or that you're nihilistic, or that you have a weird worldview, or that you just sit in your room with no higher than sense purpose, you're not trying to become a good, strong man, and you're jacking off to hentai, and you feel reliant on a woman for your happiness, and so on and so forth, there's hundreds of beliefs that you could have which could be completely fucking up your ability to attract a woman. They can sense that on you. They can smell it on you, bro. Because if they chose wrong in the past, they would be fucking dead. If they chose a little pussy man who would just abandon her whenever their village got attacked, she would be fucking dead. She had to choose right. She had to choose the strong, honorable man with integrity and is capable. Are you him? Has that question ever crossed your mind? Because you're very quick to put a magnifying glass on the type of woman that you want, but you don't ever ask this question to yourself, and it's selfish. And I'm calling you out because I love you and I want you to grow and be better. So please don't take this the wrong way. This comes from a place of love. That's why I turn my camera on every day, because I need to tell you the harsh truths that no one else is willing to tell you, man. It's not that she doesn't want you. It's that she literally cannot want you because she can sense that energy on you. It's literally impossible for her to be attracted to you, which is why she probably looked at you in a disgusted manner. She probably just did it subconsciously. She didn't mean to look at you that way. But all of her spiritual alarm bells rang when she looked at you, and she thought, oh God, I can't imagine anything worse than shacking up with this guy, because he's so unbelievably incapable and he's so unbelievably dependent on me, and he's not worthy of me. He wouldn't protect me if something bad happened. He's not a man of character and honor and value. He doesn't even look after himself. He doesn't even have a good view on me as a woman. Why would I want to share that energy with him? My beautiful, pure, divine, feminine energy. Why the hell would I want to corrupt it with this? Her cervix literally tightens up at the thought of being with a man who operates at this level. And that is the issue with anime, and also just westernized media that does this as well. That appeals to the male fancy and also the female fancy. It fucks women up too. It sets these unrealistic expectations in your head, and these very selfish expectations, and it completely destroys your ability to actually find a tangible, realistic relationship which works for you, and realistic expectations. Like, yeah, of course, if you want the 10 out of 10 girl, you have to be him. You have to be that guy. You can't just clumsily fall into it like you see in your favorite animes. Doesn't work that way. Never has. Maybe that appeals to you because you're lazy and that just seems like the easiest option to you, but nothing good comes easy, my friend. You should know this by now. And if you don't, it's time to put yourself out into the real world and start to experience this shit, because shit is hard. It is. And anything that is framed as easy should have alarm bells ringing in your head as a man. It's not easy. Never has been. Never will be. If you're the type of guy to just consume anime and this sort of rom-com media, base your entire personality around it, base all of your expectations around it, your worldview around it, you are in for a rude awakening. Consider this your rude awakening out of love from your older brother, me, Sam Harborne. The type of woman that you attract into your life is a direct reflection upon yourself, your own values, your own morality, what you have to bring to the table. And that should really excite you, bro, because the more you build your mental fortress, your physical presence, your spiritual enlightenment, the better caliber of woman that you're able to attract. It is as simple as that. If you just diligently work towards becoming a 10 out of 10 man, then you're getting closer and closer to finding that 10 out of 10 girl. And you don't even need to be a 10 out of 10 man. You just need to be a guy who is on that pathway, man. Okay? And frankly, bro, watching anime chronically never fits into that picture. If you want something far more productive to do with your newfound free time, I strongly suggest getting into video editing. And that's exactly what I teach inside of my Academy of Excellence. It is a one-stop shop. It is the only thing you'll ever have to purchase to know everything about video editing. You get access to all the resources, tools, the network, client opportunities, everything. One-stop shop, one price. No bullshit subscription fee. It's an excellent place to be. Over 500 young men in there, earning financial freedom, traveling the world with their laptop, becoming men of value. Men who have a mission. And that is what attracts women, my friends, not anime. As you can see on the screen, here's some results from inside of the Academy. It's going awesome. You could be next. Take care, boys.